Sometimes in this life, you've got to walk a tightrope, haven't you? You've got to balance opposing things. In my professional life, that is balancing being myself with a general business dislike for bum jokes. Dacia has to do the same thing. They've got to balance being aggressively priced, really affordable, with being a bit rubbish. They don't want to be rubbish, but they want to be affordable. Dacia's got its work cut out with this then, the Bigster. It's a mid-size SUV that goes up against the mighty Nissan Qashqai. But is it a smart budget choice when everything else seems to cost £40,000? Or is it a compromise too far? In terms of cost, the Bigster will set you back £25,000 for an entry-level one. That's 277 quid a month with a £3,500 deposit. This is a mid-spec model with a hybrid engine, and it's 30 grand, which does sound a lot for a Dacia, doesn't it, £30,000? But let's compare it to its rivals. Now, this is 4.7 meters long. That makes it a rival for the Ford Kuga, the Hyundai Tucson, the Kia Sportage, the Skoda Karoq, the Volkswagen Tiguan, the Seat Ateca, the MG HS. But 30 grand for a well-equipped mid-spec model, that won't get you an entry-level model of most of those rivals, apart from the MG. So this is still a bit of a Dacia bargain, I think. But is it any good? Should probably find that out first. Looks-wise, I think the Bigster's got that kind of big, roughy-tufty Romanian bouncer that can carry a children places vibe going on. You've got these nice 19-inch alloys on this mid-spec Journey model. Even on the entry-level one, you get body-coloured bumpers. So even if you get the basic Bigster, it doesn't look like a basic UN spec Sandero. You do only get a manual boot though on the entry-level Bigster, and if that's my biggest whinge about an entry-level Dacia, I think we've come a long way from the days when you had to manually adjust the mirrors. But whatever, you get these sharp-looking Y-shaped daytime running lights. I think it just looks really good, and I said Romanian bouncer because it's made in Romania, as you would hope. It's a proper Dacia. Now, going back to that cost versus crapness tightrope that I mentioned at the start of the video, it's inside Dacias where they normally have to walk that really fine line. But whereas most Dacias used to feel about as aesthetically invigorating as the inside of Munich Airport, this actually feels pretty good. Yes, there's lots of grey hard plastics, but there's some textured stuff up here which is sort of silvery. This is all rock hard, but sort of doesn't matter. And you've got the slightest bit of squidge from the door cards and from this bit where you rest your elbow, but it is still quite grey, to be honest. But you've got a big 10-inch digital dashboard ripped from the new Renault 5. In entry-level models, that's a bit smaller, and you get the same infotainment system as in the new Renault 5, which is brilliant. It's actually really nice to use, and most importantly, getting wireless CarPlay or Android Auto working is a cinch, and the screen's really responsive. You've got physical controls for changing the temperature, another big tick from me. You've got a wireless charger on this mid-spec Journey one, 2 USB-Cs, and the glove box is the first of what I like to call the less so good bits. So it's actually only half width. Other things, there's a cup holder divider here. I was driving along yesterday, I dropped the key or something in there, and I put my hand in to get it, and then this happens. And then I went, oh no, I can't get it out, and then accidentally turned my drive around the M25 into an impromptu Romanian BDSM session. Right, I'm actually stuck, so the rest of the video is going like this. Steering wheel's got some physical buttons on it up here. That's quite nice. The door bins are nice and big, but they're not felt lined, so stuff will rattle around. But otherwise, it's just a real doddle to use. And I love that there's a physical button for turning off all of the driver assistance systems with 2 presses, like in all the other Renaults. You haven't got a sunglasses holder up here, and you have got a little mirror here with a light that comes on. I genuinely can't get out of these. But otherwise, it's good. Last whinge, Dacia likes doing their little clip system. In the Duster, you had a little light in the back that you could move around. I've got a little phone holder here. That can clip on the dashboard, but it's already a bit broken, and it rattles like, I don't know, a goose that swallowed lots of ball bearings when you're driving along. So that's quite annoying, but you can clip it in the boot or on the back seats or whatever. That's the interior of Dacia Bigster. The only car I've ever driven that has arrested me. If you're going to call your car the Bigster, it needs to be big in the back seats, and it is. Look at this. I am 6'3", that's my driving position, and I fit perfectly in terms of knee room, loads of foot room, and loads of headroom, and the seats aren't too upright either. Now, you've got a tiny bit of a hump in the middle of the floor. You've got 2 USB-Cs there, and you've got 3 proper 3-point seat belts, so your middle seat passenger isn't an afterthought, unless you want to use the armrest, because then you have to flip that whole thing down, and then your armrest with the cup holders is a big block of plastic, but in the moulding it does at least have space for a mobile phone to be angled really badly to be honest, so that's not great. I also don't like the fact that the Isofix covers are behind zips, but at least they are reasonably coarse, chunky zips, not like the really fiddly ones that you get in Stellantis products, which feel like they're going to break all the time. The door bins in the Bigster are an okay size, but they're not especially deep, so you won't get a fat bottle of water in them, which is a bit of a shame. Got some air vents back here, but no rear zone of climate control. But come on, it's a Dacia. What did you really expect? In terms of space and everything you really need, it's got it all. Before we talk about the bum of the Bigster, we've got to talk about its engines, because lots of stuff at the back changes depending on the engine. If you get the 1.2 mild hybrid petrol, you can tow 1.5 tons. If you get this full hybrid, you can only tow 1 ton. The boot space also changes as well. It is absolutely colossal. If you get the normal 1.2 mild hybrid petrol, 677 litres. That's way bigger than the one you get on a Sportage or a Tucson, and it drops only to 612 litres on this full hybrid. So it's still absolutely vast. So you've got a nice flat load lip there. You've even got handles for folding the rear seats remotely. You've got a 12-volt socket. You've got an adjustable boot floor, which I can't use in this one because it's got a real spare wheel. It is a space saver, but look, it's got a jack and everything. So it's a massive space, really usable. I like that a lot. Mid-spec ones upwards, like this Journey model, get the electric tailgate, but all of them get 360 camera. It's about as low res as you could possibly imagine. It's like it's been smeared with Marmite a little bit, but at least it's there and it makes parking this much easier than you might think. Okay, we're gonna go for a drive in the Dacia Bigster. Now to actually start this, you've got to dig down here to find the start-stop button, and then off you go. Now, you've got 2 engine choices in this, well 2.5 really. There's a normal mild hybrid petrol, which is a 1.2. with 140 horsepower. If you get that with the 4-wheel drive system, it drops power down to 130. And whichever one of those you pick, your 0 to 62 time is just under 10 seconds. But so is this. The hybrid system is also about 10 seconds to 62. Even though I've got 155 horsepower from a combination of a 1.8 litre petrol engine and an electric motor. I've got 4 cylinders in this engine. The mild hybrid only has 3, so they will sound different. And this hybrid does sound a bit gruff when you boot it, but it's got quite a bit of go, which is quite nice. And the main thing is this hybrid system gets 55, 56 miles per gallon no matter what you're doing. I've had it up to 60 at one point. I did a load of motorway miles yesterday, bit of town driving. No matter how hard I drive it, I can't really get this to go below about 54 miles per gallon. So the hybrid system gets a big thumbs up, despite the engine being a little bit noisy sometimes. Otherwise, to drive, the suspension's a little bit firm at times, but it rides quite well. The steering actually feels connected to the front wheels, so when you go around a corner, it's not really guesswork like in some older Dacia models. That just feels absolutely normal. If you're out the back corners, a little bit pants because you've got those thick pillars. The door mirrors are nice and big, good for the view out, bad for wind noise on the motorway. At 70 miles an hour, believe it or not, this is one of the noisiest modern cars I've driven this year. It gets pretty gusty and noisy, so you turn the radio up a bit. That's about the only real significant downside to this when it comes to driving. So yes, I do quite like it. If you want an automatic, you have to get the hybrid. That's the only auto option on sale. And the hybrid is a couple of grand more expensive than the basic mild hybrid. Dacia Bigster, in a nutshell, it's pretty good, apart from motorway refinement. Could use some more sound deadening. Let's head back to me in the lay-by of justice for a conclusion. Okay, can you see me? I'm going to start my conclusion by listing the things about the Dacia Bigster that still feel too cheap and too rubbish. First of all, wind noise when you're driving at 70 miles an hour is a bit too loud and it's a little bit annoying. It's also not that much fun to drive, but that's sort of okay for a family SUV. And some of the interior bits are still too hard, plasticky, and a little bit uncomfortable in places. But that's basically all the bad bits. It's really efficient. It's got a really nice modern hybrid system that can get a bit growly at times, but I'll forgive it that. So much interior space, massive boot, it's very usable, and it's just got all the latest tech from the Renault group that I really like now, mostly nicked from the Renault 5, like your wireless CarPlay and everything else. So if you do want a big family SUV, but you don't want an MG or something like that, this gives you more kit than nearly all of its rivals for less money, which means it's really, really good. I've been really blown away by this. Dacia has walked that tightrope. They've done it really well, and it comes dangerously close to usurping the Skoda Kodiaq as my default recommendation for a family SUV, mostly because this is 10 grand cheaper than the Skoda. But anyway, if you've liked this video, please consider pressing that like button, because that massively helps us with the algorithmic gods. Subscribe to Motorpoint YouTube channel. We've got lots of other car videos coming up very soon. And yeah, go down to the comments and tell me whether you would have a Dacia or cut your arm off.